Okay. So I'm Curtis. I play in a band called Monkey. I have some friends here. We're just going to talk about ska. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about politics, whatever the hell comes up. This is Taylor Morden. This is the man that put together the ska movie, Pick It Up, ska in the 90s, the love letter to ska. He's the man that put it together. And he's got a new movie out now called, what's it, The Last Blockbuster. So for all the people that grew up watching VHS videos, this is the man, and you can chat your questions to him, and he will see them in the thread, and then we will get confused over the technology, and no one will actually get answered. And then along with him, we have Bosco. Bosco is a local San Jose DJ extraordinaire, a reggae historian, and a bartender that also does he does like a online punk rock bingo thing. What days of the week do you do that?
That happens.
Bosco
quarterly. It's punk rock pandemic in San Jose.
All right,
and we do it to raise money for bartenders out of work right now. So
nice, fantastic. So
and Curtis and this is why I'm upset that I was not in Pick It Up, the ska movie. I'm not upset.
Like starting to throw fists immediately.
In the 90s, I DJ'd the Ska Boom radio show at KCPR down in San Luis Obispo, and that was the height of where we were still on Pound Ska Chat, like posting playlists and then getting stuff from record labels like unsolicited. And I was getting, I was gonna do this and I will do it. The ska punk from the 90s review. I'll do a live Facebook thing. I've got a stack of records about this big, all 45s from guys like Joko Ska, remember those guys? Everything from Chuck Wren, everything from Moon Records in the day, everything from obscure garbage. I got like 7 Rudiments 45s that no one has. I've got stuff from Kimuri in Japan. So I'm a little upset I wasn't part of the movie, but the movie was fantastic in its own right without me. You don't need me. You don't.
Why am I not in the movie?
You guys can be in the sequel.
I'll be in the sequel.
There you go.
Yeah. There we go.
They put it down, ska in the late 2000s.
Put it down. Yeah, the 5 people that ruined ska in the 90s. It was like, hey.
And look at them, they're like,
yeah, look what's happened now. Let me tell you something. I was going down to the Earl Warren Showgrounds trying to get No Doubt's new record and blah, 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 blah. Just be like the old blathering jack off and then even the sequel, right? Sounds good.
Absolutely. Taylor, how's when did that release? The new Walmart or the Walmart? Oh my God! the new
reel it in, monkey.
New Blockbuster. The new Blockbuster movie.
It came out on December 15th, so it's been out almost 2 weeks.
Where can people stream it or order it?
It's for rent right now on Amazon, Google, iTunes, Fandango, Vudu, cable and satellite stuff.
You got pretty much all the major platforms hitting it.
Pretty wide release. And then the DVD is actually a Blockbuster exclusive. It's the first Blockbuster exclusive DVD since 2011.
I was going to ask.
And,
are they going to actually rent the movie at the Blockbuster?
They have it for rent at Blockbuster, and you can buy it from their website, and a kid in a Blockbuster uniform packs it up and mails it out from the store.
Brilliant. That is unbelievable. Like, you hit every single one of those little boxes, to make it authentic. It comes even out of a Blockbuster.
It's got to come with a pack of Red Vines and like that crappy little microwave popcorn that they used to sell at the counter.
Yep, they still do sell that stuff at the counter.
Really? Yep. Nice. Now, I have a specific question about the Blockbuster, the Last Blockbuster. I'm a Stephen Colbert fan, and Stephen Colbert sent them a jock strap from a movie from what was it? One of the Gladiator, from Gladiator. He sent them the main actor's jock strap, and it's on display in a glass box. Have you seen that? Have you smelled it?
Yeah. Well, no. So what happened was
jockstrap from Gladiator?
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
I I think it's Russell Crowe's jockstrap from Cinderella Man.
Oh,
But what they did, and it was the John
Yeah.
Oliver show. I watched both, and that
John Oliver.
what are
Okay.
you gonna do? But what they did is they sent them to the stores in Alaska to help them stay open.
Yeah.
And they sent all this merchandise. They have the hood from Robin Hood, the robe from Cinderella Man.
Oh, nice.
A bunch. It's all Russell Crowe stuff because it was his divorce auction.
Yeah.
And so he sold up all his memorabilia.
We got
They
it.
sent it to Alaska, and they put it in all these nice glass cases. And then when the Alaska stores closed, they sent most of it down here to Oregon. But the jockstrap, the big joke that we had, Russell Crowe's jockstrap, they kept it for the TV show, and they did a whole bit with Russell Crowe at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So here in Oregon, we got everything except the jockstrap.
Wow.
So you can go to Blockbuster, and there's the hood from Robin Hood and all this, the robe from Cinderella Man and stuff like that.
So,
Under glass, and it makes no sense if you haven't seen
Yeah.
that shirt. You walk in, you're like, why is there just Russell Crowe stuff at Blockbuster?
they got it cheap probably because it was a divorce auction,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And somebody in their divine wisdom, and I'm not trying to bash Blockbuster here, but I think in their divine wisdom,
Here in Oregon, we got everything.
Planet Hollywood model would be a good thing to do to keep these blockbusters open. And let's just send a bunch of shit they can put on their walls and have people come in and be like, oh my God, like there's more Russell Crowe's
Absolutely.
garbage.
Yeah. They tried that, but what happened is, like, there is a wall in Blockbuster now that is just memorabilia, but the stuff people want to see is just Blockbuster memorabilia. It's old Blockbuster VHS tapes and Blockbuster, sweatshirts from the 80s and, like, the old, like, the mail-away DVDs that they did and all that stuff. So there's this Blockbuster display, and then there's the Russell Crowe display, but nobody cares about the Russell Crowe display.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's just like so many, there's so many layers to that though. That's the thing is like, they're immortalizing their own, right? Their own demise and their own history. Plus part of their history is that Russell Crowe, brilliant idea, by the way, just absolutely spot on. But like the fact that the people will not look at actual stuff from actual actors in movies, but look at stuff that is made from a entity that rented those movies. It's like it's insane to me. It's like going to a Walmart Junior next to the Walmart because it just has better stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it'd be like if Walmart shut down and they opened up a Walmart museum and just had khakis. And
they have that. It's in Central Valley, California. Everything's a Walmart museum. Trust me on that one.
They should have a Walmart with memorabilia from the people from people from Walmart. The site. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Walmart.
Yeah.
Have those people create memorabilia for the Walmart museum.
I want to see Funko Pops of the Walmart people because that would be amazing.
That would be
That
awesome.
would be.
I mean, Funko, they'll license anything.
Oh,
They'll do it.
just imagine a Funko Pop like barely wearing underwear, over like, eating ice cream, pushing a cart. Like that'd be the best goddamn thing. I'd be like, I'll take the whole set.
Yeah. It's like two Funko Pops melted together.
We really wouldn't have to make it so Funko. They would just make it like a normal one and be like, it would be so correct, like anatomically and everything, just be perfect.
Less of a Funko Pop and more of a Funko Plop is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh
man,
awesome.
killing me.
We got some people joining in on the chat here. We got our guy Dave Litton from Echoplex Media. He runs his own little show, Local Love, and a bunch of other things. They actually have a 24-hour stream now, which is pretty cool. We got Josh Coots, junior ska boss. Josh Coots. He was on that tour when I met Taylor, when I met you, and then John Roy from the fabulous band Unsteady in Southern California in San Diego. One of the best bands I've ever seen. Yeah, and they play ska, and they've been playing ska for.
I play their stuff on Ska Boom.
They're fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So he's got a new project he's working on called The New Normal. I'm gonna and then he's got some other projects he's going to be putting together too. It's just you know, these Goliaths of ska kind of getting together and meshing for the amusement of the general public, since there isn't a scene or a place for musicians to do their thing these days. And then we got Sandra. She's a local friend. Hi, Sandra. Hey. And yeah, those are the people. Hey, everybody. If you want to give a question to any one of us, you can ask me about Monkey and ska and stupid stuff. You can ask Bosco about crazy San Jose happenings and DJ and
scooters,
stuff.
Junk. People.
Yeah. And you can ask Taylor about the fine movies that he's putting out there. He's done ska in the 90s, pick it up ska in the 90s, and he's done the Last Blockbuster film. So please just type in your question and we will go ahead and read them out loud. But with that being said, what else is going on? Did everybody have a great Christmas besides a burp? You got a burp? You got a sneeze? What's going on there?
I have my 8-year-old. I'm shouting directions.
Yeah. You're like, I'm live. Don't come in here naked.
Yeah. The silver can. Yeah. He'll find it. Watch me hit my kid. Get me a beer. Milo, it's the only beer can in there. Watch this. Yes, it is. Nice. I don't know what he's wearing right now. He usually wears Minecraft everything. Oh, okay.
Minecraft there. Oh, look at that. He's got pink hair. What's going on there?
Yeah.
Milo.
I named him Milo, and I named him Milo for a few reasons. One, it's short for Emilio, which was an Italian family thing. And two, I'm a Descendants fan, and it was the only way I was going to be able to name my kid after a rock star that my ex-wife approved of, because she didn't think that Joe Strummer, Bosco Bierfer was going to happen, or Axl Rose. She nixed that one quick. But she liked Milo, so we went with Milo.
Nice.
Excellent. Hey, what was your guys' Christmas like? What happened? Did you see anyone? Did you get any cool things in the mail? Did you end up beating up the Amazon guy? What'd you do? What was the thing? What was this year's thing?
Go ahead. I got a good one, but you go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. We didn't really do much. We were just home. We Zoomed with some family people, and you know, that's about it. I think we watched Wonder Woman.
Cool.
Nice.
I watched movies, stuff, just random stuff. The greatest thing about this Christmas is I didn't buy anything for anybody. My neighbors basically got my only Christmas gifts, and I apologize, Curtis, I didn't get you anything. You got my love, bud. You know that. And I made taqueria carrot for everybody. And
yeah.
I think I've given you those before, haven't I? You've had them that I made. And everybody around me gave me homemade stuff. So I've got like spaghetti sauce, and I got soup, and I got homemade salsa. And so like that to me, like as crap as this year has been and how so completely different it is. And I had to Zoom with my parents who were in their 80s. You know, I had my son, and like they didn't get to see him for Christmas. Everything was like sent. That was the only real highlight that made the holiday cool, and it was completely different. You know what I mean? Like completely different. And all the shit part of completely different, I'm not worried about. But like you got to think about the springtime bloom that comes out of this garbage, right? And that springtime bloom is like people are making stuff, and it's good. I mean, I got homemade cookies, fantastic. So did nothing, kind of depressing. But on the flip side, I'm 10 pounds heavier than I've ever been, and loving every minute of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. We decided that my girl Lisa said I want to roast, like randomly, like middle of the day. I want to roast this evening. I was like, oh, then I had to figure out how to make a roast. Made a roast, and it wasn't. I thought it was pretty good, but she was like, I don't know.
She's not watching, so just
I don't know. Yeah, she gave me one of these, and I said, let it sit for 24 hours, and then this turned into.
There you go. There you go.
So, We watched a couple movies. Watched the new Soul movie, which is incredible.
That's that Disney
Yeah,
Pixar animation, right?
yeah,
We watched that the day after.
yeah. What'd you
Christmas.
think?
It was awesome.
Yeah,
I loved
yeah.
it. Loved it.
Yeah, and it's a mark of a good movie that you know, I knew that what's his name, Jamie Foxx was playing the main character, and the first two sentences that came out of his mouth, I'm all, oh, this is Jamie Foxx. Oh, I'm not buried in the character. This is too Jamie Foxx-ish. Like 10 minutes later, I was like, who's playing the main character?
Transformative, you know that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy,
He's transformative, but I mean, there's a lot of minutia, you know, years of fighting the different types of Jamie Foxxes that you've seen in the past.
The Jamie Foxx that wanted to be Ray Charles, I didn't like that too much. I really didn't quite sit with me. But Jamie Foxx, like, he's one of those actors where I think they call it method, I guess, where he gets into it. Like, and he gets into it and he becomes that person. And that's what I really like. So
yeah, for sure. I just thought that that the right level of emoting happened in that movie. It was not syrupy sweet. It was not necessarily tugging at your heartstrings or making you want to cry through the movie, but had some really important things to say. And by the end of it, like, I felt it. It's a great movie.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to put it on the list. I'll watch it with the kid. That's for sure. You know, my whole thing with him is trying to get him to like music that is not beep boop beep boop 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 beep boop beep boop beep boop. It's all Minecraft music. Like, that's like gives you know anything about. So like watching anything that has any kind of like real kind of substance to it, that's where I'm at. So
yeah, for sure. Hey Taylor, how did the how is it a year after Pick It Up? What's the takeaway? Do you think that that the movie had a lot of impact? Do you think that it brought a lot of people back to the table to discuss like what had happened or to devise a future for music?
I hope it did some of those things. From my point of view, you know, it's out there. I'm still actively trying to tell people about it every day. Like, it's, you know, it was obviously a bigger deal a year ago when it first came out, but it's still like, you know, a huge part of my day-to-day. And it's what I do for a living is just like try to get people to watch movies that I've made. And so it's an uphill battle, but I find myself talking about ska still most days, and that makes me happy. And I find the people involved in the movie, there was a lot of that when we did the theatrical run, that people would like get together. You know, we did it all over the country, and at those screenings there would be people from whatever scene, you know, if it was, you know, Detroit or Chicago or, you know, San Diego, wherever the screenings were, all the people who used to be in that scene would get together, and some of them hadn't seen each other in 20 years, and that was really cool to me. That was like, oh man, and there's people, you know, who had beef 20 years ago who are hugging it out, and that's nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
That was like really touching to me, like, oh man, we made a thing, and whether the thing is good or not, it did bring people together, and it did, you know, bring people back from whatever grudges they were holding, or, and a lot of that's still around, but just seeing that kind of stuff happen was really awesome. And I don't know that that's still happening, but I do hear from people who watch it now, and they're like, oh man, I was in that crowd shot, and that reminded me, I got to text my buddy who was also at that show from, you know.
I felt that when I saw it. I'm like, man, I got to tell you, fuck, if I don't show up or friends of mine don't show up in this film, and I saw a couple friends, and I actually had a couple friends that contributed to it, and their names are in the list in the back, the very back of the movie. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, damn it, once again, where was I? I fucking blew it. I should have been part of the movie. But at least for the finance part to help out, because I believed in it, and I was there when that happened. And to touch on what Curtis said, I do think that, is it going to jumpstart a whole new movement for ska? Probably not. But what it does, I think, is it helps pull those threads forward and you see new bands that were in your movie, you know, that people have talked about, like Bite Me Bambi has a new record out, and like all these bands I didn't really hear of. Like Big D was one of those bands where I was kind of done, and they were out, and they were kind of holding the torch for a while.
Yeah.
And, you know, like it made me revisit that, me personally, revisit that and like be a part of that, because like for a lot of people, it just, you know, you grow up, you have kids, you do other stuff, and you still love the music, but you're not into it. So you don't see the new stuff come out. And that kind of gave me that spark to be like, oh, shoot, you know what? I should start getting records again from new bands, not just spend $40 on a 45 from Jamaica because I think it's cool as shit and I'm Chris Murray. But I want to be like out with, you know, whatever's out now and continue that. Because I have all these old records from the 90s that were part of this thing. And then in the 2000s and kind of probably about 2005 or so, I just kind of stopped buying records. I kept buying records. I didn't buy new ska records, new bands.
Yeah.
So yes, that's what it did for me. And I think, Curtis, you're right. That's that threads that kind of hold it together, because, you know, you had from the original waves to the two-tone to the third wave, and there's always these little bands that hold it together, like bands like the Untouchables kind of were at that two-tone through third wave, you know, and then like I said, like Big D till now, I think is one of those little threads, and so we'll see what's coming out now, and there's new
about the thread of Fishbone.
Fishbone
Jesus.
Oh my God.
But
it's held it together on many fronts, not just Scott. Like they've done on Black Rock musicians,
everything, right? The whole anti-racist shit, everything. Like they are the scene. I mean, they have been. You know what I mean? Like when you think about the Big Five or whatever, it's like you have Scatolites, you know, and you have Derek Morgan and Prince Buster and all that from the original stuff. And then for me as a California kid, you got Untouchables and you've got Fishbone. You know, I mean, those were heavy bands back in the day. So they still are. You know, they're still doing it. So anyway, there's my yappa yap about the whole thing. But it's true, and I think you know what I mean. You know, the cool thing is as you compile this and you go, and for me, like as a fan first, and I always tell this to Curtis, like we're friends, but I'm also a fan, so I'm gonna turn the friend off and be the fan for a while, then I'll turn the fan off and be a friend again. So he's a fan of all this stuff.
He does. He actually stops and he goes, I'm going into fan mode.
Yeah.
He switches and he goes, oh my God, and then this happened and this happened. Oh my God, and then he's like, boom, back to friend mode, and then it's like beers.
Yeah, totally, right. Yeah. But you know, everything that comes out, and for guys like me who like collect stuff like this, it goes in, right? You know, that record goes into the next record, and your movie's a part of it. Boom, 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 and then 5-10 years when I look back again, I'm like, I remember that. You know, like I remember all the old Vespa scooter stuff, and when, you know, everything that all dovetails into ska music too. You know what I mean? And so I've had so many run-ins with so many ska and scooter and two-tone and rude boy and mod and skinhead and like scene culture stuff.
Yeah.
That it just goes right into the, you know, like I said, right into the record case. Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah. Hey, just give a quick shout out to the people that are in the thread right now. It looks like Austin Gray from Joker's Republic is saying hi. He says the New York premiere of Pick It Up with Scott was the only time that I can think of where the audience reaction to a movie or film was comparable to a live show. So he said he's got some memory of it being going off. Were you there, Taylor?
I wasn't at the New York one. But I've seen pictures and video from it, and it was like that. But the Orange County one, you know, the world premiere that had like, we sold out like a 650 seat theater. Were you there, Curtis?
No, I wanted to be. I was at the San Francisco.
Oh yeah. But the Orange County one, I mean, there were dudes from Real Big Fish, Save Ferris, Aquabats, you know, Bucko 9 was there. All these people who were in the movie, and it was like, every time a new person would come on screen, the whole audience would cheer, and you couldn't hear the movie. And it was very much like a show, like when somebody brings a special guest out on stage and everybody goes nuts. You can't hear them, you know, play their little horn solo or whatever.
You know, it's a good movie if people are pissed off because they have to go see it a second time.
Right. Yeah. It was secretly my plan. We'll get him to go watch it again.
Meanwhile, you've got an audience applause button. You're like,
yeah, exactly.
I can't hear anything. We got in the thread, we got Adrian Gonzalez saying, Taylor!
What's
And
up, baby?
mentioning Half Past Two, his great new two-tone
Nice.
album. And he says he was at the Newport one,
That's
and
the
it
one I'm
was
talking
so great.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
It was really cool, and that, to me, that's a huge bummer about it now, is that the main thing people say to me after they watch it, if they look me up and send me a message, is like, it made me want to go to a ska show.
Yeah, and now
And
you
like,
can't go.
for the last 9 months, that wasn't available. But last year, people would, I hope that it would lead to more people going to ska shows. That's like the main goal.
Yeah. Well, I think if we could look at anything positive to come from being stuck in with this COVID thing, is that I think that a lot of the people that were immediately energized by the movie and by the recent energy that the ska scene was kind of effervescing, I think they've just been put on immediate hold. Like, what's going on now? Let's chat. What's going on now? So I think that's happening. I see that the Horn Pub site and the Is This Ska and all those other groups have been really active, and like some of it has been superficial. It's like all the joking about like is there any ska before Streetlight Manifesto, ha ha ha, and then there's the mozzarella sticks controversy, and then that was followed by the pineapple pizza controversy, which lest we forget that. But beyond that, I think there are people that are actually genuinely interested, and they're making fun of these tropes because they are fundamental to starting a conversation. However lame or funny they're being, their true interest is that they want to see this proliferate, and that's partly to do with your movie, and it's partly to do with musicians and DJs like Bosco, spinning classic.
And the lockdown creates more opportunity for bands to even remotely like write and practice and come up with new shit and change their sound and mix it up and whatever. And if you don't, as a musician, you have to be sitting around doing something, right? And so your brain's going. And so the thing is, once this thing kind of opens up, there's going to be a lot more new content. I know that, a lot more new content. If not a lot more new bands. What's that band out of Chicago, Curtis? That almost like a huh?
Deal's Gone Bad is from
Deal. I know Deal's Gone Bad, not old, new. These guys just put out an album. And I should have done research before I saw this 5 minutes before I joined it.
Male or female lead?
Male band. They got a horn section. They're very two-tone, but they're not. It's like a two-tone, not even a tribute band. They're doing their own sound, but they definitely take a lot of feel from two-tone. And I think they're from Chicago. I'm doing research as I'm talking. I'm trying to figure it out. But I mean, I'm hearing that stuff, and that goes back to what I was saying about your film.
And that thing without Google.
Nerd boxing while I'm nerd boxing. Not beatboxing, it's nerd boxing.
Wait, nerd boxing, doesn't that end in someone going, "Hey, you knocked my inhaler out of my hand"?
Yeah. Exactly.
Wrong
what I'm saying is, it goes back to what we were talking about the film, where it's like, I don't think I probably would have made any effort to see this, like even join like a ska group on Facebook. And I saw your film, and I was going through my records, like, oh man, I do have that. Oh, I do have that too. And then I saw this band. I'm like, oh, these guys seem pretty cool. And I clicked on it. And I'm like, oh shit, these guys are really good. And I can't remember their name. So I'm looking.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's happening.
Excellent.
Out of COVID. I think that's what the big thing of COVID and bands and music and not just ska music, but I think music in general. You're gonna get a whole new resurgence of all the genres you love, plus a bunch of new stuff that is just gonna come out of this. Because if you're sitting there like, I liked radio controlled cars before COVID, and then because of COVID now I have like 15 of them. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh, I just need to do something with my hand. And so I think that's what we're gonna get. that next
Nice.
level.
Well, looks like Ed Mulligan has joined the conversation and says he's got a stir the pot question. Is there a fourth wave? Ha ha ha. LOL. What do you guys?
I don't think they're going to call it that.
Fourth
I
wave?
think there is. I don't think they're calling it that. I think that's just like a new era or whatever. There's no real name for it yet. And I think calling it a fourth wave would probably do it disservice. I'm putting it out there right now. I think that should be its own thing. You know, two-tone created third wave. Okay, we get that. There's a thread. But it shouldn't be fourth wave. That'd just be dumb. Because it should be its own thing.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents. That's what I'm just saying. I mean, whatever. You want to call it. Look, you're in a band. Here it is. You can call it fourth wave.
Maybe it'll be called the Ska Box Revolution. Have you guys seen the Ska Box thing?
No,
Yeah.
I have not.
There's some girls from, I believe they're from Sacramento area. And they put together something called Ska Box. You can look for it on Facebook or on.
In one of your chats.
Yeah. They're real cool. They have a love for the music, and they just want to see it go. And they reach out to bands. They say, hey, you know, we don't want to undercut you for merch. What we want to do is buy it at what you think is reasonable for us to buy it as a wholesale. And whatever you tell us, we'll just tell you how much we can afford in that amount. And then they put together these boxes, and they get people to subscribe to them, and they mail out these boxes, and the boxes are like, hey, I do 3 CDs and then a T-shirt and a couple of pins and
oh, okay.
And
so
it's real fun.
It's a monthly subscription.
Yeah, it's kind of like that food service where
it's just like the Bark Box for your dog when you get a new toy every month, but it happens to be for ska music.
Yeah. So I like that approach.
Operation. I found the name of the band. Bad Operation. Bad Operation. That's the name of the band. Brand new band to me.
Oh yeah, I've heard them.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put it out there. My new band of interest is Bad Operation, and I really like the direction they're going. I like it's just like anything else, right? They've taken a lot of influence and a lot of ideas and then just made it their own, and it's really cool shit, and they just put out an album. So there it is.
Nice. Taylor, what's your favorite band that's coming out these days? What's your new flavor?
Yeah, I've been digging Catbite.
Me too.
They're pretty new.
Me too, yeah. They're good.
I've been really digging that, and I listened to 2:30 and Bite Me Bambi. I've been on a real female-fronted modern ska kick.
Yeah. It's good to see. I always told a friend. I told a friend right before the COVID thing hit. They said, "Is ska coming back?" And I said, "I think so." And they said, "How can you tell?" And I'm all, because there's girls doing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
makes sense.
For the longest time, it was like geeky dudes, and the joke of like, if you're a rude boy, you're never going to get laid. And then all of a sudden, you see girls taking cheeky photos of themselves in ska outfits, and I'm like, that's a good indicator.
Yeah.
That means that there's a healthy balance going on. However that balance has to happen, whether it happens with cheeky, photographs or girlfriended bands, I'm all for it. I think that
girlfriended bands, I mean, it goes back to even the height of that upcoming and third wave. I mean, Dancehall Crashers, first thing that comes to mind, right? Not even No Doubt, but Dancehall Crashers, female fronted, they had that sound. Man, you know what I mean? They were as good or better, and then just the jangly little jika bands out there going, "We're super ska." I'm like, yeah, but you're not that good. They're good, And
you're not selector good.
Yeah, selector good. It really was. It really was selector good. But I mean, it came out of that same that whole. To me, okay, all the female fronted bands that we all know, Go-Go's, X-Ray Specs, all that stuff. That's kind of there's that thread again, you know what I mean? And they just happen to be a modern version of whatever that was, but they were doing their own thing, and it just happened to be when ska was blowing up again. And so you might be right, Curtis. It might be that the female fronted thing, like the Bite Me Bambis, are going to be taking over and kicking this new, whatever this new thing is in the butt,
An
right?
army of
And
Bambies. Right, Bambies.
I mean, look, you got guys like Revis
Right.
down in LA, and the Heck Cat's still putting out stuff, and you're still making music, Curtis. And, you know what I mean? There's bands still doing it, and they're still doing it well. They're still doing it well. There's no drop off in the fan base with a lot of these bands.
Mm-hmm.
One of the last bands I that came through San Jose was Eastern Standard Time Orchestra. That was actually post Greg, but it was still like, oh my God, you know, these are the bands that are going to continue to keep going, and now they're heritage bands, and like, let's bring those girls in. Let's do this. You know, let's make it happen.
Yeah. You know, Adrian Gonzalez says he used to wait for the monthly zine Scratch, and he would order directly from there. Isn't I'm not sure if that's the same one, but we had one from San Jose, Scratch. It was like a quarterly zine, I think, and it had like color cover. It was stapled, stapled half fold kind of thing.
Like a Kinko zine.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a real it wasn't just a Kinko's thing. It was like they actually had like newsprint inside.
Right.
Scratch Records, and we did a compilation. We were on a compilation a long time ago. So I don't know if that's the same one. I think Adrian is writing from Southern California, but that would be interesting to find out if it was the same one, because that means it just had a larger reach than I was aware of at the time. I always thought it was
regional
zines,
though. It could have been original. That name sounds familiar, Curtis. Who knows?
Scratch.
I think
or Scratch.
I'd have to go through boxes and boxes of stuff to see if I have one. I'm afraid. My storage unit, I've got boxes just piled with like flyers and stickers and like little Rasta bands and crap that I kept forever and ever. And I've always thought one of these days it'd be great to go through and archive all that stuff. But boy, I got to tell you, man, like the rabbit hole you go down when you go into that kind of stuff, and then like the emotions you get and stuff. Whoo! But I bet you I'd find one, and I tell you where it's from. But I bet you there's been 5-6 different Scratch magazines out there, because the countrywide, if you just make it regionally, you have your own zine.
Well, for us,
so,
it was a Scratch with a K, SKRATCH. Maybe it's not the same Scratch because he's spelling it with a C. So who knows? It's lost to the annals of time. Regarding the old stickers and stuff, we used to have a trailer that we purchased in the early days to tote around all of our equipment, because we thought we had to have like Hammond B3 and all that crap to be a legitimate ska band. And we had what we called the Wall of Shame, which was we weren't allowed to put stickers on the outside because we didn't want cops to mess with us. But when you open that door, it was just a sticker like garden. It's just so many stickers. It was stickers on top of stickers on top of stickers on top of stickers, and people would go and peel corners and go like, "Oh, I saw that band in 1985. They were so kick-ass. We get this sticker." And I'm like, I think we played with them like 2 years ago. I don't know. It's under 3 layers of stickers, so that's at least 2 tours away.
Humping around a Hammond, by the way. So with Blue Beat Stompers, we used to jam a Hammond into the van and like go up to Petaluma and play up in like Santa Rosa area. And of course, those stages are about 2.5 flights up. And so here I am with Alex, like, why do we have to bring the Leslie with us? Why can't you just use an electronic? Oh no, it's got to sound right. Like 5 songs in with 30 people there. I'm like, was it worth it? Was it worth pumping a Leslie up 3 sets of stairs into something? It sounded amazing for the 30 people that were there.
Well, the crazy thing is you'd haul this like ancient equipment up there and kill yourself to make the awesome sound happen, and they would put like an SM58 that someone had spit on 100 times, and it was all dented and sounded like crap right in front of it, and if you just plugged in direct with like a modern synth, it would have sounded awesome.
Great. It wouldn't look the same. And also, when you have like an 8-piece band or a 6-piece band, but you're only using 3 channels on the board, like who gives a shit about the Leslie, right? I mean, like at that point, it's just mudded in with the bass player, So who cares?
For sure.
Hold on
For
a second.
sure.
I have to attend to something really quick. I'll be right back.
Hey, Taylor, I see you have an orange amplifier back there. My first tour in England was we borrowed a backline and had an orange amplifier. I think it was the same model, except there wasn't any reverb on it, and it was the first time I had to deal with playing without any reverb, because I didn't bring one with me. I didn't bring a pedal or anything with me, and it was a learning experience, because my amplifiers, I always choose like a blues driver style amplifier, so they have kind of a mush to them, right? Kind of a pulse, kind of a mush, and there's no mush in the orange is like bam. Yeah. Bam! Here's the note. Here's every single string, and so it was the first time in my life that that on stage I'm trying to reckon my own playing style and trying to understand how different sound. So I would move the pick phasing between like the upper strings and the lower strings to find the pocket for the music, and it was. For me, it was a learning experience, because I don't know if you know this, but I played organ in the band for the first 8 years and then we went through a rapid fire succession of guitarists and some of them were too good to play ska, and some of them were not good enough to play ska, and I was like, everybody needs to move out of the way. Let me just take it, because I know what I want. And so I left the keyboards and started playing guitar. But yeah, I played for a good 5-6 years before I got in an orange amp, and it was just like, oh, now I have to actually listen to what I'm doing. It's not just like this throngy, pulsy sound that I don't have to actually pay attention to. But yeah, it's killer. I actually have been thinking about picking up one since, now that I understand my instrument a little bit more.
Yeah. You're probably, the first orange I had was a Rocker 30 or Rocker 50, and those don't have reverb, and that's rough without a pedal. But this one's a Rocker Verb, and it has a pretty decent reverb in it.
Yeah,
it's a lot more versatile than those simple.
The guys in War played with those. If you do the 70s War with Eric Burdon, they're all in orange. All of them. Oh, yes, make that sound, man.
Yeah.
It just makes, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that combination. We talk about Leslie's and Hammonds and that. It's like you have to, you can fake it now, I guess, with GarageBand. But there's something that comes out of that natural sound, that the way they're wired is just, oh man, like that.
Yeah, it's that point. I think it's that they call it point-to-point Class A wiring, and that's where you're using traditional tubes and you're not using a circuit board to redirect all this. You're using actual
wires to transformers to
Jesus. My lighting got really bad, and then it got really bad again, and now it's really bad again. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we got to see how beautiful.
No, it's not the beauty part. It's the scooter. There's
there you go.
There's one of my nice. That's my bedroom scooter. That's the fucking weird thing. That's the bedroom scooter. That's not my kitchen scooter is really even better. It's the Lambretta.
The kitchen scooter's nice. Really yeah.
Bedroom scooter's all right. Kitchen scooter takes the my work computer. I have like a Apple computer waterfall going on right now. Hold on. All right, here we go. Jeez, I got to tell you, cheese and crackers. Living in the Bay Area, the technology.
So one thing I like to do with these little discussions is talk about like what we're all doing wrong and what we could be doing righter. How do we make people energized about music again? I'm hoping that for me, I'm hoping that there is a renaissance that follows this pandemic, because classically there's always a renaissance that follows a pandemic, because everyone is pent up and now they want to go out and celebrate a little bit, and that causes a flourishing of music and art and pottery and poetry. I'd like to see that happen, but I'm not putting all my ducks in that basket, whatever that
I don't want
means.
to see any of your pottery, Curtis. None of it. I want no pottery coming out of Curtis.
I'm going to put ducks in the pot. No, but Taylor and Bosco, what do you think we need to do as contributors to make this pop, to make this accelerate? Any ideas?
I think there has to be something to it that makes it that kind of event. I'm not talking about music festivals and things that bring like 10,000 people together. I'm talking about the same with movies, right? Because movie theaters are all closing and maybe they will never come back. But I think if we can make our independent art, or whatever art we're making, make it a community event, make it a thing where, oh man, you had to be there, because everybody's getting everything digitally right now.
Mm-hmm.
And all the bands that I love that can figure out the technology, I can watch their live stream. And if I have good enough speakers, it's okay. But it's not very fun for me to watch that stuff. And the same with movies. I'm watching giant blockbuster movies on my TV, and it's a bummer. Yeah. And so I'm hoping you're right about the renaissance, about like once we can all get back together, that's all anyone's going to want to do, right? That's all I'm going to want to do, is be in a crowd watching a band, or at a movie theater, or anything.
Yeah.
But I think it's on us as creatives to nurture that and to make sure that, it's not just the same show every Friday at this bar. It's like an event, a social event, like a coming together of like-minded people. Like for me, like playing shows, it was always like every fourth or fifth show would feel like that. And I'm not quite sure how you manipulate it so that they're all like that, but I think that's the goal.
Yeah.
I think now we're getting to that point where there is a lot of content, and like what you were saying, there's probably a little bit of digital burnout. I like, if I want to see it, I could just see it. I got to tell you, the last time I felt excited about seeing something online was actually in March when Dropkick Murphys did that live show in Boston for St. Patty's Day. And it was just like this weird feeling. They're like, you're just giving it. And then the music would end. And then you hear somebody like cough in the background going, woo. They're like, yeah, but there's no crowd. And it just felt this weird, like, I'm into this, but then it's so hollow. Yeah. But now we're used to it. And we've learned how to backfill digitally those spaces, with putting shows out. But like you said, having a real show and having an event is like, that's top of everybody's list right now. It has to be. Yeah. And I think for that, we can't see, we've already opened Pandora's box. We can't stop making the content that we're burning out on. We can't, because if we do, it just goes away, right? Yeah. And there won't be anything to look forward to when it does open back up. Meaning, like, if you just quit making records now, and we decide that after the dystopian nightmare ends 5 years from now, and we're living in a wasteland, with apocalyptic vehicles and people shooting at each other, that one show you can go to is going to be like, well, fuck, why would I even go to that? Like, I don't need to see it. Yeah. Because the buildup isn't there. Like, still the buildup's here. We have the buildup now. Both you said it right. We got to continue to kind of like put it out there. And for me, and what the guys that are doing, and great group of people. It's not just me, but like with Punk Rock Pandemic, it's just me DJing. But like, we've got swag, right? We've made a whole entire kind of ecosystem around it, where people are like, oh, okay, what's this all about? I can play bingo for free and listen to punk rock music? Absolutely. Or you could buy some neat things and contribute to bartenders that will be in between the punk rock bingo sets to be able to teach you how to make drinks at home. And so that kind of stuff is great. And I love being a part of it, and I love contributing that. And I feel that I do contribute to, like, you made a fucking movie, contributing. You're making records, fucking contributing. I'm doing this dumb thing. I feel like I'm contributing. I mean, on a very same base level, that we are all pushing this forward and hopefully have a fucking live event again. I mean, the closest thing, and this is what happened in San Jose, like, there's a promoter, Chris Esparza, he wanted to put bands on the back of a flatbed truck and drive them around a neighborhood.
Yeah, we were actually supposed to do that.
And there's a lot of really good idea about that. There's a lot of really wrong about that in like a lot of logistic levels. But like, okay, at least there's guys out there snapping in their head, like, what do we got to do? What do we got to do? You know? Yeah. And so,
that's the only thing I worry about is the digital burnout is real. It is definitely
real. Wonder Woman 84, I didn't heed the warnings, and I said, I'm going to watch it anyway on my small little Acer, hooked up to my computer, hooked up to my streaming HBO Max, which is basically puking a stream every 30 seconds, so it's just not quite as, it's supposed to be like 4K. Yeah. Mine was like 0.5K. You know what I mean? And it just, like, it was entertaining for what it was, but like I couldn't tell you if it was a good or bad movie because I was just so like, with just the way it was presented.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the digital burnout.
No, for me, you know, when the pandemic first happened, everybody broke out an acoustic guitar, like, "Hey, I miss you. Here's a song. I miss you. Hey, this one goes out to you because I miss you." And people were asking me left and right if I wanted to do that, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because I think as much as people want to see that you're still alive and they want to feel that connection with you, I think it does, unless you have something great to offer, like this is a style or stylistic change, or I'm going to do something very unique. I've written something very unique. I don't see a lot of merit in doing what I would consider a boo-hoo post. You know, like oh, pandemic has hit us all hard, and here's me playing a song. So for me, I felt that doing that, I was like, okay, so if you're going to put out content, right, is the content further, and is it propelling the scene further? Well, A, you're not getting paid for the content.
Right.
B, you only get like 5 or 10 people, 100 people at max, right? And if you go play a show, you can get like 600 people, right? You know, if you really do a lot of promotion for it.
To me,
so
I think exactly did it right.
Yeah.
Hepcat did it right. Hepcat did it right. Hepcat, the remote, the little boxes, and they did a couple of cover songs, and then they put out, I think, 1 or 2 original songs.
Yeah.
But like within 2-3 months in between, right? So you kind of want it, and it's different. And like what you're doing, like Curtis put out his practice sessions.
Yeah.
And then you put out the Christmas thing with Phil and his downtown stuff. And it was just you know what I mean? Like just enough time in between where you want it. Like, oh, okay. And that's new and interesting. Like you said, it helps alleviate the digital burnout. It's still like, oh, well, I can watch it whenever. That's the flippant part of it. Oh, it's not like I have to be here right now. I can just hit, boop, save for later. And then just watch, save it for later.
No, we got,
and then watch later.
We got a lot of people that chimed in and said, like, this is really important to us that you guys continue playing online and stuff. Yeah. But, and I didn't feel bad about it because it was like we were doing a virtual show. You know, we were like, okay, here's the band as you would have seen it on stage. We're in our crappy garage, but now you get the added experience of seeing where we actually practice, where we actually create this stuff. You can see us, like, we draw on the walls. You can see the crappy artwork on the walls. And that was, I felt that was delivering a certain message, that playing an acoustic guitar saying, I wish my band guys could get together, but we can't because of COVID, boo-hoo. And I felt that propelled it forward. Right. And it did. The first episode that we put out, I think 8,000 views, 8,000 hits or something like that. And then the second one was like 22, 2,200, and then the third, like,
right?
You know, the third one was like, it was like 1,100. I'm like, we better pace these.
You gotta pace them, and like I said, like I'm not using them as the be all end all, but the Hepcat model. I'm just gonna say that because that's what they did. They immediately came out with everybody doing a social distance at their home band together thing. Everybody's done it. Fucking Dickies did it with Milo Ackerman doing Manny Mo and Jack, which was just amazing. It was Dickies with Milo singing. I'm like, when I saw that, I'm like, I'm gonna watch this 15 times, right? like, when Hellcat did their thing, and then they put out a new song, like made me want to watch it. Made me kind of like bookmark that. So like with you, Curtis, like people are bookmarking your thing, and like, okay, well, next time something comes up, I'm going to be on the ska radar. There it is. Boop. Curtis got a new thing out. We're watching. Oh,
excellent.
Well,
hey guys, it's been well over an hour. I thank you both for coming along. This has been super fun. Before we sign off, let's each one of you guys just give a little fucking presentation. What do you do? What's your thing? What do you hope? What's your hope? Your dream for the upcoming year, 2021.
Yeah. I just put out a movie. I hope everybody watches it. I hope, that we can all get through this and next year's better than this year. I believe it will be.
Yeah.
But, don't hold me to it.
And your movie is The Last Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. It's available now digitally, wherever you get movies, available on DVD at Blockbuster Video if you can get to one. And, like they say, be kind, rewind, but I don't give a shit if you rewind or not, just be kind.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not advocating to steal his movie from the Blockbuster, being it's the only one left in the world, because they'll figure it out.
I don't know.
Remember I used to get the video games and peel the Blockbuster security sticker off with heat.
Wow.
Yeah, that was bad. This is live too. Whatever. We gonna come after me, Blockbuster? Come after me.
Turns out all you have to do is.
What's that?
Did you guys ever?
It turns out.
Hey, did you guys ever know a guy by the name of Kevin Dill?
It sounds familiar. I don't know.
Hang with the same
Okay.
crowd way back in the day. He was a modern version of a merry prankster, but he would go to Blockbusters and he would put tape on the videos, and then he would record something really horribly inappropriate.
Oh, on the tape,
or just
just over the hole and record like garbage over. Oh, that's bad news, man. I love it.
So someone would be watching like Bambi, and then all of a sudden there would be like boobs, and then Bambi would just did I actually see that? And that was his thing.
DVD, most likely.
Oh, fun.
I dig it.
Well, with I guess I'll say my thing. I hope to God that 2021 is better. I think it is. I think it is already. I think the politics is changing. I think that getting a vaccine, even though we don't have as many as we need to, it's going to happen. I think it's going to come back. I hope I've got both fingers, both toes crossed that I hope that it happens before summer. And if it does, the summer is going to be incredible. Absolutely incredible.
For me,
so give it up for 2021.
Yeah, for me, it's the same like everybody else. You want it to be a better year. I think I have a little bit of different take. It's not like going to happen in that 24 hours on December 31st to January 1st. I know that. But I do feel that we are headed in the right direction, or at least in a better direction. A lot of the squirrels that are running this way are now running this way, which I think is going to be, better for all of us. And I think that as long as and it's always refreshing to have everybody have that same idea, right? Because it seems like most of the population has this better kind of this levity of like, okay, all right, you know what? We'll push the reset button. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen overnight, but like, let's see, like you said, through May, June of next year, when the vaccines have kind of gotten to the general pop, and hopefully restaurants and stuff will open up again, and we can travel again, and all that stuff. That's huge for people. I will lose 15 pounds and be back to where I was before, just the same person but a little bit smaller, and and happy with it. Happy with your family. I mean, I'm fortunate. I got my kid. He's healthy. Yeah. My family so far is doing well this year as best we can. And I can only wish that for other people, So
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to leave it. Thanks for coming on. I'm going to do these randomly, maybe daily, maybe every other day, maybe every other week. I don't know. And it's just to get people talking. And I encourage you guys, if you guys want to do something like this, just do it. Just don't even ask. The Facebook has you open up a room, you invite people to the room. When they're ready, you go live, and then it locks the room, and whoever's in the room is live. And that's it. Get conversations going, make things happen.
buy his record. Buy his record.
I want to come to both of your rooms and see.
No, I'm going to put a stop to that right now. That sounds super inappropriate.
Yeah.
Not your actual room. No, I really do. I really want to see people doing this a lot more and energizing their fan bases because they're out there, they're watching, they're waiting for something to happen, and we could be the people that energize and make things happen.
Look for my ska punk retrospective record spinning probably on the weekend, probably half in the bag. But I've got a lot of records I could spin that you haven't heard in a long time. I mean, when's the last time you heard like Gangsta Fun and shit like that?
Man, crazy.
Checkered Cabs.
Nice.
You can keep going. I've got so much garbage. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna spin it live, and I'll make sure that at least one of you or both of you, hopefully, will be a part of it.
Excellent.
Fun.
All right, guys. It's been super killer, and keep up the ska. Keep up the ska. All right.
We'll see the
Have a good night. All right. Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.